Alrighty, Lumberjacks, welcome back, and it is official. We are in Farming Simulator 2019, which is pretty exciting. So, I'm basically just going to kind of fire things off a little bit just to kind of do a walk around, see how things look. This isn't going to be like an official episode or anything, more of just an intro to the game. I'm just really excited to play it. So I've picked I think it's Ravenport map. There's two maps to choose from. It's like the Fensborn or whatever, and then this Ravenport one. So I've chosen Ravenport. Now instead of like easy, medium, and hard options, we have new farmer, farm manager, and start from scratch. So I'm not sure if these are difficult. I'm pretty sure these are like difficulty settings. So hard is basically you start with everything in the hole and you have nothing. And that's kind of how I like to start. So Ravenport's the map I'm choosing. Like I said, you have the option of this Felsbrunn one, but we're going to go with Ravenport just because it's the classic one everybody seems to be picking. Now, we have the option to set up our character. So we're going to be FDR Logging right here. Apparently the character customization is just wild in this one. So let's play around here. So we have character types. Oh, I get it. Okay. So it's different different faces, different ethnicities, different sexes. So we're just gonna be the classic. I like this farmer guy. He just looks good. So we got hairstyles. I guess he's wearing a hat, so it doesn't really matter. Oh, I get it. We can choose our hat types. Let's just go none. Let's give him some weird hair. Where's the fro, yo? We'll give him that thing, just so he can look like the douchey farmer. And give him a jacket. Sure, we like jackets. Accessories. Oh, yeah, we got to give him the shades. He looks like Johnny Knoxville, actually. Okay, we're going to be Johnny Knoxville farming guy. We got to put red on him. There you go. I'm Johnny Knoxville, and this is Jackass. All right, so here we go. Ravenport. So this is one of the base maps that comes with the game, obviously. You guys hang tight, because there's going to be some FDR stuff coming here eventually. I've already done a couple run-throughs looking at some stuff, doing some physics tests and all that, so it should be entertaining. So this is where you start off, kind of up in the woods here from this cabin, I guess. And yeah, it's quite pretty. So there's definitely some stuff about it that's changed a lot. One thing that I noticed right off the bat when I first started playing was just the way you interact with bushes and stuff now. Like when you walk through bushes and stuff, you actually move the bushes around, which is kind of cool. Same with machinery. Now, Chad and I were doing some testing last night, and we found you can't mow down the bushes. You can mow the grass, but you can plow the bushes. So if you were to get, like what we have is the tractor plow, if you were to pull that up this hill, of course you have to own the land first, you can actually clear a straight cut right through all these bushes, and it makes a really cool trail. So putting that in mind, when I build the bulldozer, I am going to have a heck of a time, because we'll be able to bulldoze our way through bushes and build our own little landscapes. We're going to make some hardcore do-it-yourself maps where you're going to build your own roads, and it is going to be tense. I'm so excited. So excited to get modding on this sucker and recording. So starting tomorrow, not today, but tomorrow, you're going to see a logging from scratch episode, and we're going to continue that kind of like we were in the last game. And then as I develop equipment or maps or whatever the case, we'll bring the equipment into the logging from scratch episodes and just kind of play with it. I think it'll be really fun to do it that way. And same with maps. Once we get a map out, or a couple maps out that are good, we can also start up our own single-player series on that. So one thing that's cool is they got these little bits of wood that are just laying around the maps now. These are actually dynamic pieces of wood that you can, well, I can't pick it up because it's too heavy, but you can actually come through with the forwarder and grab these bits of wood, throw them on the back of the truck, take them and sell them, and actually make money off of them. So I have a lot of really cool ideas for that for our maps, and some new stuff that I'm not even going to talk about because it's a secret. But yeah, all these little bits of wood, totally can pick them up. You can throw them on trucks. You can sell them, lock them down. And the only thing you can't do is you can't cut them, at least not from what I saw. They don't seem cuttable, which is fine because we don't need them to be cuttable. And I got, like I said, I got some crazy, crazy plans now that this is a thing. You have no idea. Crazy modding plans. Get you guys all excited here. So like I said, like the density of the lighting, the density of like the trees and stuff, it's beautiful now. Like these bushes are finally kind of what I've always wanted them to look like. Like it's almost looking, I wouldn't say 100% Far Cry, but it's almost kind of like that Far Cry vibe where you actually have a lot of feel of nature while you're out here, which is beautiful. It sets a scene, you know, like it's very picturesque. You know, just having pictures of like these, even a picture of this car. Actually, I'm gonna take a picture of this car right here. Let's find a good view, because you know me, I gotta take pictures of literally everything. Let's just take a random screenshot here. There we go. That'll be the thumbnail probably. So with that in mind, like I said, the new bushes are awesome, but at the same time they might pose a bit of a difficulty for logging. So one thing I do notice is in places where the trees are bushed in heavily, it's sometimes really hard to see the bases of the trees. So I've even watched other guys that were processing and cutting, and they have a really hard time like looking into the bush here to see where the base of that tree is while they're doing their grab. Some of the heads do press the bushes down, but they don't destroy the bushes. They pop back up again. So I'm going to try to see if I can find ways to get rid of bushes, like to destroy them. What I would love to do is have like a feller buncher and come through and be able to just wing my blade at that and cut it out so that I can get a clean cut off of that. But I don't know. That's all future stuff that we'll have to look at and see if it's possible or not. But the overall bush, the overall quality of the stuff is just exceptional. Like it's just absolutely exceptional. I love it. As far as the actual like game itself goes, like, you know, farming side of things, I'm sure there's a gazillion videos out about farming stuff, or will be within the next little bit. I'm more focused on forestry, obviously, because we are FDR logging. Obviously there's plots of land now, so you can't just cut down any tree. You have to actually buy individual plots of land. I'm going to do a little video on that probably later today, just to show you guys kind of what the potential possibility for that is. Let's see here. That's some weird looking new trees though. Look at these things. Weird bendy trees. And I've seen some videos of them getting processed. They seem to actually have like bent physics in them, so that's something else that opens up some interest. Ultimately, I think making our own maps and stuff, like we were also playing around with the map editor last night, just kind of testing things out. And like putting down these foliage and painting textures and all that stuff has been improved so much in the editor that making forestry maps is going to be such a good time. But the level of detail they've put into the maps now, like just even having clutter and having like, you know, things built into the ground and rusted old tub in the weeds, it adds a certain depth to the game that's just never been there before, and I'm really impressed by that. We were also doing physics tests on the logs and stuff last night. Again, I'm going to release a separate video to show off some of those physics, because we definitely did a little bit of abuse on some of the maps there. So it's a nice little field out here. Again, the grass is nice. It might be just a tinge too tall for logging. I don't know. We'll have to take a look at that, but one thing I would have loved to see is if you cut down a tree to have the logs actually like roll over the grass and push it down. I think that's just asking a little too much, but it would have been really nice, because then when you actually have piles that you process out in the middle of, you know, La La Land here, it would actually pile them on top of the grass. But instead, I think the grass will stick through and hide a lot of the logs, so that's something we'll have to investigate. I mean, you could always go through with something and cut it all up or something like that as well, but I would just love the ability to run down the grass. And like I said, you can knock over these trees, so as I walk into them, you see they kind of like bend. So when you're in a machine, you can actually flatten them right down, but unfortunately they just kind of like spin tires, they just pop back up again. I was kind of hoping you could just completely obliterate them, but apparently not. I have the graphics cranked up pretty high. I think pretty much maxed out in the game right now. They're on very high. The only thing I turned off was anti-aliasing, just because that one's a real killer on my frame rate. I would say I'm not getting 60 frames a second right now, and I'm going to play with the graphics a little bit more just to kind of get a little bit more out of it. Now, my biggest problem for me is I'm running, what's my resolution? 5760 by 1080p, which is 3 monitors spread over to make this giant resolution. So running it at that full resolution is actually pretty painful on my graphics card. So that's kind of my own fault, my own doing. So I think performance-wise, they've increased the frames per second on this, because even with a crappier computer, I think you'll be able to do pretty well in it. I wonder if the corn moves. Oh, look, the corn moves. We can run through the cornfield. Is that something we've always wanted to do? Not really, but we're doing it. I like how they have birds in the field. That's kind of a cool dynamic, too. Overall, even walking around on the streets in this game, it totally reminds me of like I'm playing Grand Theft Auto or something like that. It's very clean. And again, everywhere kind of has its own little feel. You know, like, it's just really detailed, you know, putting all the details, little stuff. I don't even want to look in here. I don't want to go in there. That'd be bad. It just has a really good kind of at-homey feel on some of these maps. And I never really got that from 17. Their maps were a lot more, I don't know, I guess you could say generic, a lot more plain. These ones kind of have a little bit more life to them, so. It's the Good Coast restaurant. Let's not go to the Bad Coast restaurant. And this shed. I swear I've seen this shed before. It's like the sawmill shed. Probably at the sawmill. I'm just running around aimlessly here. This is probably a sawmill. Oh, like you can like kind of hide up in here. Oh, got some clipping going on there. That's okay. Can't all be perfect, can we now? Got a pipe and stuff. Yeah, no, I'm just I'm pretty impressed by this whole the whole dealio. I'm gonna be more impressed when I get the mods on there working and stuff, but can we run up this hill? Probably not. There's a lot of collision walls. Yeah, I didn't think we could go up there. There's a lot of collision walls blocking you from going over the edges, which is, you know, it's fine. I guess they don't want people running off the side of the map, but also stops you from kind of exploring some of the areas. So let's take a quick wander into town here. I know this is supposed to be logging oriented, but I just kind of doing a little map preview here to show you guys what it looks like. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have to build a new control video, because I see the controls have changed a little bit. So we'll make a new control setup video for people with dual joysticks. And then as we build our mods, we'll have to build them around that setup, which I'm not worried about at all. Actually, I think it's gonna be just fine. You can pick these up, can you? Oh yeah. Put it right on top of this car. Joke's on you, car. So yeah, like the little towns and stuff are a lot more detailed. Like I said, it totally reminds me of playing like Grand Theft Auto. I feel like I should go like mug somebody from one of their cars and go do some drive-bys, but just really detailed. Lots to look at. Pretty sweet. I think they did. I think maybe when they looked at the last game, they kind of realized it was a little bit empty. Maybe this time around they realized, hey, we need to change things up a bit. I'm hearing noises. Oh, it's the flag. That's a loud flag, that one. Huh, interesting. Oh, there's a basketball court. We found the basketball court. Check this out. This is totally logging oriented. All right, let's see if we can make a kill from the free throw line here. Oh, not a chance. Good physics on a basketball, though. Hey, look at that. Let's see if we can actually get it in the net. Oh, yeah. Score, buddy. I want to do it from half court. That'd be dope. Okay, ready? You guys ready for this? Oh, no chance. My guy's just not strong enough with his weak little non-farmer arms. Oh, man. All right, well, we can't play this all day. I got to get one more basket. One more chance. One more chance to rule it all. Oh, yeah, score. So there's a lot of things we noticed looking at the map that we can implement into our own, which will be really cool. We got like a whole new beach setting going on. One thing that's really sweet, and I did talk about in the other videos, is that you're able to put a lot of different terrain types down now on the same ground to give you a lot more room to play. The terrain itself hasn't changed a whole lot. You can't manipulate the terrain. You can't, you know, you can't dig a hole in the ground, anything like that. But that's also not the end of the world. I haven't had a chance to play with wood chips or any kind of like pushable physics or anything like that yet. But that'll be coming probably in a future video. You're going to see a whole bunch of little videos coming out over the next bit doing some physics tests and stuff like that. And then as we start modding, it's going to be pretty wild. All right, let's run up this hill real quick here. So like I said, you kind of get like a town feeling when you're down here. It's really, you know, it does feel civilized down here. You know, there's not a lot of trees. There's just like a lot of, you know, open space and vehicles and stuff. But as you start to kind of go more to the countryside, you actually feel it kind of, the terrain changes, you know. You get more of a bushier look or a farm kind of look, and it's really well done. Each area has its own kind of feel to it, and I think as somebody who builds maps, I can definitely see the challenge in trying to make that happen. So I think they did a really good job there. The new dynamic lighting is beautiful. I'm gonna do a time lapse just to show you guys the cloud system in speedier motion. It looks absolutely stunning. Like, yeah, they've outdone themselves. See, like even this, like they got like a little path up the hill here, which is really nice. See a little path overlooking the city. Path ends probably horribly. Probably a deadfall to my death. Let's just run right up this hill. Yeah, you know, overall, look at this big ass field up here. Holy. I'm sure some farmer somewhere is gonna have a heyday with that one. Oh, look, more birds. Get the birds. All right, okay, well, you know what? I could sit here and run around this map all day long, but we're going to start doing some logging stuff here pretty quick. Tomorrow, like I said, will be the first official logging from scratch episode. We're going to have a really good time. But as for today, I just wanted to show you guys kind of what we're thinking and what we see and some opinions and stuff. If you guys have any questions or comments, leave them below. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you're in the bush, don't forget to hug a tree. All right, guys, we'll catch you on the next one. See ya.